Soundwave.
You're watching Radio Free Cybertron. For the latest Transformer news, reviews, and more, visit tformers.com.
This is Radio Free Cybertron, episode 365, recorded May 28th, 2014. Still the future. I'm your host, Brian Kilby. With me, we have Diecast, Don, and Melvar.
Hey, how's it going?
Anybody get anything cool this week?
Okay, I'm going to use the only line from Lego that you'll ever hear me use. Spaceship, spaceship, spaceship. There. Okay.
Yeah. You like him? You like Cosmos?
I like Cosmos, although mine did come with only one gun on the front colored. So, in lieu of having a Gundam marker, a black Walmart marker worked just as well.
So the paint app wasn't applied. That's weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it was the whole gun. It was one green gun and one black gun. So I just colored it in, and when I get the better one in, hopefully from BBTS, that'll be going to Mr. McConaughey at Botcon.
Cool.
And I also picked up the Evolution Strafe 2-pack, the one that they use Technobot Strafe.
So
on the
I
side.
thought that was intentional. I thought that was like an Easter egg. I mean, that had to be.
Apparently, I don't know. It could have been a glitch, but that's just it's the complete wrong face. It's the complete wrong colors. I don't know, but that 2-pack is out, but I haven't seen anyone else's exclusives yet.
I would have thought if they were going to use the wrong art, it would have been like the Voyager strafe from a couple years ago. The one that was based on Mind Wipe.
Oh yeah, that one, the one with the gigantic Autobot symbols on the wings.
Yeah, don't know. I just would have assumed that would have been the case. You were about to say something, Diecast, a minute ago. I thought.
Oh, I was gonna say I got Trypticon.
Sweet. Rob Springer found all of those guys too. I'm kind of jealous. So you got to. It's a Toys R Us exclusive now, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't certain if that had kicked in or not. To my understanding, I just didn't know. I knew that it was going to be Toys R Us exclusive. I just didn't know when that was going to happen.
Then I also got what the heck is his name? It's clearly a Jetfire, but they call it Jet Wash.
Jet Wash? Really?
Jet Wash. I don't know why.
This is not backwash.
It's clearly a Jetfire. I didn't know if this was a name they used before. I mean, why wouldn't they just call it Jetfire?
I think Jet Wash is brand new because I don't remember that being used for anybody.
I have no recollection of that.
Never
being
heard
used.
that before.
That's really weird.
Maybe it's something they're trying to trademark, so that way if they lose Skyfire again, they can go back to that.
They can go to Jet Wash.
Ugh.
Yeah. So I ended up getting Tailgate and Scrapnel. I like him. I haven't really got a chance to play with him much yet, but what I really love is Reflector. So I posited a minute ago that you guys remember the Legends class Starscream that we got that had the Minicon or Target Master or whatever you want to call it, Waspinator, and we a few months later got that awesome Deluxe Waspinator. Maybe we might get something awesome with Reflector. Probably not.
Well, the Megatron did come with a Chop Shop, and we haven't seen anything out of that yet.
That's true. But I'm going to hope.
And I still have not opened up that Waspinator. I forgot to do that.
You're a bad person, Don.
I know I am. Well, I've got figure arts. Heck, remember back in November when we were talking about the Ultimate Optimus Prime at Toys R Us for $50?
Yeah.
I haven't opened it either.
Yeah, I haven't either.
That was November.
Yeah, mine's still in the box. Thank you, by the way.
Oh, no problem.
You're awesome. Right. So, but as I pointed out earlier before the show, for the most part, cameras do or kind of look the same that they did, like 30 years ago. There are cameras that follow, they haven't changed that drastically. Most of the things that change are in the guts of the camera, so maybe. Like, with Soundwave, cassette decks are kind of passé. We did get that awesome music label Soundwave in Japan. I say awesome. Awesome is a stretch. We did get that music label Soundwave from Japan, and, it was pretty cool.
The functionally passable?
The passably functional.
Okay.
I don't... okay, funny thing about that, I'm certain in Japan that mini SD is a more standard format, but it's not even micro SD, it's mini SD. So it's the middle-sized SD card. And I still have never actually... I've got one, I've got it in the toy, I just have never actually tried to use it as an MP3 player. I'm certain it's terrible.
Well, nowadays, with most phones being an MP3 player, it's not even really worth getting an
Oh, yeah, my Note 3 is my MP3 player. And the thing is, as an aside, people look at my Note 3 and they laugh because it's like 5.6 inches. I would love to have like a 6.5 inch phone. Something like between my Note 3 and like a Nexus 7. That's about the sweet spot.
No. My problem is that I've got a Samsung Charge, which is a couple years, about maybe 2.5 years old, and it's got a 4x3 screen. The problem is I'm starting to have to do this.
I'm sorry.
And it's...
For people listening to the podcast, Don just motioned his glasses, so...
Well, it's just... Well, again, it depends on the light situation and stuff like that, but I could use a bigger screen, but where I work, we're not supposed to have our phones on us anyway, but I keep it with me.
Oh, but people do.
Well, yeah, but if I'm in a freezer and I fall off a ladder onto a cold concrete floor, I'm calling for help if I have to. Whenever
I'm in a freezer, I don't want people to know. So let's go ahead and jump to This Week in History. So This Week in History in 2003, Dreamwave published More Than Meets the Eye #2. No, it's not the More Than Meets the Eye that we know and love. It's the old More Than Meets the Eye comic.
But at the time, we thought that was the stuff.
Somebody did. I didn't.
Well, it's more stuff than what we had.
Had?
Yeah.
Had.
English is a funny language, dude. Don is grammatical. But
I will say I love them. I have the trade paperbacks of these, and I still love to read them because they did such a good job taking like MicroMasters that had no information at all, hardly anything, even a bio, and actually fleshed them out. Again, the artwork is a little...
If you can understand the flow of the comic.
But you won't read More Than Meets the Eye or Robots in Disguise.
I haven't got to it yet. I
got to read my Blackthorn comics.
I'm still hoping for a surprise announcement that Regeneration 1 will continue as an ongoing series.
It's like I'm really looking forward to finishing G.I. Joe European missions. Okay. Actually, speaking of G.I. Joe, it's not Transformers, but the G.I. Joe Toys R Us exclusive, apparently, I didn't know this, is a shared exclusive with BBTS.
Those are up on their main page.
And they are up for pre-order today.
Oh, really?
The vehicles are already sold out.
Yes.
Thankfully, I pre-ordered. So for all of you people who didn't want to spend $60 on a low light, now you can get it in a 2-pack for $30.
And what's good is those are actually very reasonable prices.
Yeah.
Compared to what I've seen Joe sets go for in the recent past.
Yeah, so I went ahead and pre-ordered that. I also pre-ordered, I hate myself for it, but I pre-ordered the Mega Drive Megatron. The Megatron that's Genesis.
I want to, but...
It's ridiculously expensive.
For that size figure, yeah, it's
absurd.
Now that's not to say, because y'all remember that Famicom Prime artwork that I found a few weeks ago. If that comes out in something along those lines, I may be more tempted than the Megatron. But $120 for a 7.5-inch tall, mass-produced figure?
Let me pull that up here too, for people watching the video.
Yeah, it looks interesting. It's just,
I know that it's just a toy, but Takara has put working video games and transforming robots before, and with WebDiver, and the fact that basically back 10, 15 years ago, the guts for a Genesis was so miniaturized anyway. Now it can be done on a system on a chip. It would be so cool if this were actually a working Genesis.
Yeah, I mean, if they can do an Atari flashback system with 70 Atari games and built into a console that's smaller than the original Atari, then
Don, if you crack that thing up, it's like no bigger. The main board on it is like no bigger than like 4 inches by 2 inches. It's tiny.
And then just imagine back in the day, for those of you old enough, which is not that many, imagine 70 Atari cartridges stacked up.
Yeah, I mean
that's a lot of cartridges.
Welcome to the future. It's pretty great. But yeah, I'm really excited about this because I loved video games. That was like my era of video gaming. So it's just sort of like a confluence of two things that I love coming together. So I'm buying it. So we got news that Sunstorm may actually hit Toys R Us in June. Is that UK and US, or do we know?
I don't think we know.
Go ahead.
Here's the thing that kind of surprises me. Grimlock just went, live at Toys R Us, ToysRUs.com today
For $80.
for $80. So it's already $20 higher than what some of the stores got it in at. But most stores in the U.S. haven't even gotten it in store yet. This is going to be riding the coattails pretty hard of Grimlock. It's going to be another scenario, I guess, like Soundwave and what was the other one? The green guy,
Storm.
Acid Storm, where we're all going to be looking for Grimlock, and Sunstorm's just going to be sitting on the shelf, I guess.
Well, I mean, I'm looking forward to it because I've kind of wanted that for a while. Just didn't want to pay the prices for it.
I skipped Acid Storm. I skipped the U.S. edition of Starscream. Probably not getting this.
Hey, Ender says he saw something in the store today. What did you see, Ender?
He must have saw Grimlock for $80.
$80, yeah. Okay. I don't need it, but I would recommend anyone who wants it. $80 is still a steal.
Oh, yes.
For Grimlock? Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, hey, Don, you remember that blue Masterpiece blue streak that you wanted?
Yeah, we're not getting it right
You're
now.
not getting it, no.
We're not getting it.
You can get a silver blue streak, but...
I mean, I like those colors, but I believe Captured Prey did say they were talking to Takara about having a shared exclusive on a blue streak, if I'm not mistaken.
I'll
But that's
get it.
still
That
out.
I would buy. The silver one, not so much.
Yeah, the silver's just not different enough for me.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Especially in robot mode. I mean, he's still got the red legs and the red blasters. So I mean, you're not really getting that much out of this.
It's not that different. I mean, Blue Streak's a great toy. If you don't have it, I'd recommend picking it up. But this is going to be a convention exclusive, so. Robot Kingdom has it for $65 though.
Well, for a lot of the newer fans, especially coming in after the movie, this is their blue streak. Because that's all we had for a while was silver. I mean, I like it. It's just like Diecast said, it's not different enough to warrant another purchase. But if you are getting both missiles, that's not bad.
Hey Don, so I was just checking BBTS to see if they had it up for pre-order, and I probably shouldn't mention this on the show, but they have that iGear tubes and manatee set on sale if you want it.
I saw that. I'm saying that's with Fans Project of Toys announcing a news item that's coming up soon. That's got my priorities more. Yeah,
I really love that. I'll buy it. Buying it now. I really love that Rager.
Pipes.
Yeah, well, I like the pipes look, but that Rager mold is awesome. I've got like 4, I think, right now. Third party sea sprays, but Okay, so you guys do the news while I check out here. I'm kidding. I'll do both at the same time. So So we got our first color test shot of Masterpiece Wheeljack.
And he is gorgeous.
He's nice looking, yeah.
Yes, he is.
The only thing that bothers me a little bit is the flap under his forearms.
Yeah, now that you mention it, I can't unsee it.
Yeah, everything else, I don't have a problem with anything else I can see.
He looks a little skinny, and maybe that's just because he's next to Prowl. That's the only other thing I was seeing. It probably won't be that bad in hand. I think the way the angle of that photo is, he just looks really skinny.
If he were standing next to Sideswipe, he'd probably look better.
Yeah, the underarm flaps is kind of strange, but for some, I know the feet are okay, but for some reason they're so hollow in the back. That's the first thing that got my attention, was how hollow the feet are in the back. Like the foot couldn't have folded up to sort of fill in the heel or something. It's minor. It's just nitpicky minor, I know, but this is weird. That back of the foot looks weird.
It still looks great, though. I mean, we can all definitely agree that it still looks great. We're still going to get it.
I just wish they could have found some way to do the light up ears, either like a little lever that drops like a cover over the
I'm
plastic.
sure a third-party company will get right on it.
That would be great.
And if they weren't already, they're probably listening now, and they probably do that.
It is not something I need, but I can definitely see it happening.
Yeah. It's not. This sounds terrible that I'm nitpicking. This is such a good-looking figure. It's just that was one of his big things, was the flashing ears, and I kind of would like to see that recreated somehow.
Yeah.
But again, that's just me.
Okay.
Oh, I agree. I think a lot of people would agree with that. Any true G1 fan would probably agree with that.
And I don't like the idea of a true fan, but yeah, it's me. Sorry. Sorry. Long-standing nerd debate. Moving along. So I decided I'm not going to get tubes in Manatee. I'll live without it. Yeah, sorry. Just the wrong size. Okay. So, moving along. I haven't listened to the interview yet, but Meredith Scott and Sarah Stone talk about Windblade on the Underbase podcast, which is at, if I remember correctly, it's at underbase.libsyn.com. So that is the podcast that Amy is on, McFeely's on there from time to time. So check that out. Also, the Transformers animated box set, the entire complete series, will be an Amazon.com exclusive. And it's $35. That's it. Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's definitely what
Amazon.com. I will order that.
Is this worth ordering?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Don't even ask. Just
forgot.
go to Amazon right now.
Talking to.
Wait, and you have to remember the one episode of animated that I've watched was the Wreck-Ar one.
Yeah.
Which I wasn't that impressed with.
Well, you were wrong.
That I get that. I personally love that episode. I'm the one that wanted to review it, but yeah, just buy it. When you see Omega Supreme, everything else just falls away. And
yeah, that not having that Omega Supreme, I can see why Paladin is pushing for it, like I'm pushing for Headmaster RC. That Omega Supreme is awesome.
Pre-ordered. Okay. Thank you, Amazon. But yeah, definitely worth $35. Okay, so I need your help. Like, bad. I think it's still available. I'm pretty sure it hasn't sold out. Do I or do I not get the Collectors Club Transmutate figure?
No.
I skipped it.
I think it's a horrible figure.
I'm skipping it for now, like I did Cheetor. But I did go back and buy Cheetor later on when I had the finances and I found a better price much later.
I haven't found a better price. I mean, I could get it right now, but the box, I can put my Rampage in it.
Yeah, that's.
So you're buying it for the box.
I've done stupider things, Diecast. I've done much stupider things than that.
But I'm just saying, don't buy it just for the box.
Well, I'm saying this. It will look nice as a set, but I'm going to hold off for now. Just with Botcon coming up, I can think of things at Botcon that I would rather have instead.
I mean, I bought Runabuck and Runabout, but I think that was a really nice set. I don't know about
that. That could be the nicest set they've done for the club exclusives, not the Botcon exclusive, except maybe for this this gorgeous and wonderfully named fella right here.
I've never even transformed him.
You don't need to.
I took him out of the box and I'm like, ooh,
oh yeah,
mammoth. Cool.
It's not impossible. I mean, I don't need the instructions to do it. It's just it can be frustrating getting all of his panels to line up. That's the painful part.
I think it was pretty much Big Convoy that created the term shell form. Well, him or Break, one or the other, basically gave credence to being a shell former.
Yeah. I mean, Neo was the shell former, like, heyday. And I love Neo, don't get me wrong, but it was the heyday for that crap. Let's see here. Go ahead.
Oh, Brian. Oh, this is just a reminder. The Transformers Legacy, the artwork, that should be coming out. Oh, I just pulled my order up for it. I
was checking Amazon. I was checking for the release date on that a couple days ago, and I didn't see one.
I pre-ordered that a long time ago.
Yeah, but when I thought the release date was like really close to being here, but I don't see a date, so I apologize for that. But I thought there was a date here when it was coming out, but it should be getting close.
I want it. Hey, Don.
Yeah.
Quickly, just check the link in the Skype chat because this one's all yours. So, Don, tell us about the story. People have asked why we haven't talked about this. It's because I don't care. I'll be honest, I do not care. But this is a pretty big Transformers news story, so it warrants mentioning. So please, Don, tell us about the Transformers crossover with what is it, Evangelion?
I have no damn clue.
Really?
Really?
The very first Evangelion thing I saw was the movie that ended the series, which I have been told is basically the best way to screw up your mind forever. I have never ever wanted to see anything else about this series again. I do not mind those colors because one,
they're
it's
hideous
very
and wonderful.
It's hideous
Yes.
and wonderful, like G2 Masterpiece Thundercracker would be.
Yes.
It's also
I want that and an Action Master Thundercracker masterpiece to stand next to it.
Yes.
yes, and it's also very shattered glassish.
It's also like an acid trip.
Yeah.
So, believe it or not, I like those colors better than the gold chrome on the recent MP-10 reissue.
That's hilarious, and I probably agree.
But unfortunately, like I said, really, the very first thing for Evangelion I saw was the end of the series, and I have been told that is the worst thing you can possibly watch without having watched everything else. It just makes no sense.
About the only thing that I could probably care less about would be like Transformers somehow crossing over with Gundam Wing. But if Transformers wanted to cross over with Dragon Ball Z, I would be all on it.
I actually wish they would have released this without the trailer. Why do we need another trailer? We have MP-10. He came with a trailer. Yes, we wanted a trailer with him. But all these repaints they're doing, just leave the trailer off and, make these available at a cheaper price for us.
Well, now, here's something I'm thinking. This sort of is odd. With the way this looks, imagine if Ultra Magnus cab can be swapped out for an MP-10 to a white MP-10 at some point down the road. What would Ultra Magnus look like in these colors?
I don't want to think about that, but it would look like Ultra Magnus from.
Think the Killing Jar.
That's exactly where I was going.
And that'd be a perfect way to get that variation.
We get a
Magnus
Cyclonus.
out.
We get a Masterpiece Cyclonus that's colored the same way.
Yep. So it'd be part of this crossover line, but it'd also be an homage to that episode. So
yeah, that actually kind of works. Transformers Hall of Fame 2014. There's a call out for nominees. Go to tformers.com and tell Hasbro who you want nominated.
What? What do you want?
When Massey's attack on Radio Free Cybertron. Hey, so while I'm thinking about it,
I'm going to nominate Massey.
yes. While I'm thinking about it, if you haven't already, follow us on Twitter at TF Radio and join our Facebook fan page at facebook.com/TF Radio. Always looking for more fans. It's the easiest, best way to keep up with us. It's pretty sweet. Now back to the news. I think probably don't nominate a Rector again, but if you want to nominate Reflector, sounds like a Rector, I would be all for that.
Well, I mentioned this in the pre-show, and I'm sure I'll get a lot of face palms from both the live people.
I'm pre-face palming, Don. I've got the camera on. You can see it. Pre-face palming.
Yes, I am going to vote for the kids from Prime because they were important characters. They were important to the series. They were well done for the most part.
Time out, Don.
I'm going to vote for Cosmic Rust. That's what I'm voting for, or Fire Retardant Foam, or I'm going to vote for the stick that Dinobot used against Megatron.
Captain. I'm detecting some hostility.
No, go ahead. That's fine.
I'm just saying I want to nominate those and probably Trax. I like Trax. He's awesome.
I like Raoul.
I am going to nominate Dr. Arkeville and the
Chip
Supreme
Chase.
Military Commander, King of Kings and President for Life of the Socialist Democratic Federated Republic of Carbamia, Abdul Fakati.
Yes.
I like the idea of the girl who loved Power Glide.
Actually,
And Chip.
I love Chip Chase. But honestly, though, if I were going, I guess I will nominate. It's a tie between Big Daddy, because we have to bring Big Daddy back up, or I'm going to say Psykill.
Oh, you know what? Paladin brought up a great one. Knockout. Knockout was a pretty outstanding character in the show.
Yeah, that's true.
Going to vote for Kicker.
Oh, I was going to say Kicker a minute ago, then I thought better of it.
No.
Yes.
No. Hey, and you get mad at me for voting for the kids from Prime? Hell no.
Yeah. Let's see here. Blah, 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 blah. So I put in a couple... I'm making sausage here. It's inside baseball. But in the show notes, I put in a couple extra news items that I thought if I got to them that might be cool to talk about. Any of these stories, guys, do you give a rat's behind about? For video fans, I will mention this one. You probably already saw it, but someone did a digibash of all of the Dinobots as their Age of Extinction counterparts. And they look pretty cool. I would buy these.
I do like those. We will never see them.
Or if you know, again, is that moldy? Do the molds even exist? But I have to say, I'm loving that snarl. I'm sorry.
If we never got Encores of the Dinobots, I'm pretty sure that means those molds are gone.
Yeah, but I would buy that snarl.
Snarl is pretty killer looking.
And he's also very Evangelion crossover looking too.
He is very much Evangelion crossover looking.
That and the sludge.
Slag or
and sludge just doesn't look. I mean, he's got those red spiny things on his tail. Actually, does the G1?
He's a little blah, but it's a. I don't mind it.
I was looking for mine, but he's hidden behind a box. I don't remember off the top of my head. Those are gold. Those are gold on the G1 toy, aren't they?
Yeah. But I would buy that snarl without batting an eye.
I would buy all of them.
No, that's true too.
I think they're all great. I would buy those. Any other story though worth mentioning, guys? Before we jump to third party.
Let me look at the show.
Wait, shipping soon. Transformers 2.0. Isn't that what they said like a month ago?
Oh no, this is a week or two back. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't think I've paid all 3 payments on that. So I don't think those have been debited from my account yet. I am excited to see what I get. I'm certain it's probably going to be one of the toys that I don't care that much about.
Oh, you know what else is news that isn't in here? We got confirmation that the 2-pack Toys R Us exclusive Optimus Prime is going to be the Classics Optimus Prime with the Evasion mode.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
And the paint apps on those aren't bad. I never actually got that Classics Prime mold except for Ultra Magnus, so I'll probably pick that up.
Yep. And actually, if you stop and think about it, that could be the reason that the Collectors Club had to use the same mold for Genrai in the box set.
Could be.
Because Takara had already had this on the line being produced for these sets. So that may be why we're seeing that Genrai mold again, just from a, well, we've got this on the line, you want to use it? Okay.
Yeah, probably. Probably.
Because some people were asking why that mold again. There's your answer, I believe. That's because Takara said
it was available.
It was available, and we're running it now. All we got to do is change the paint.
So I'm going to go ahead and jump to third-party news, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Guys, go ahead and drool, I guess, for those of you who want this. The Fans Toy FT06 Sever Iron Dinobots figure. We have the line art for that. So,
and it's not a blacked out outline. Yay!
It's even less.
Yeah, I have a lot to say about that. First, we're not going to do those shadow images anymore, or whatever we're going to call them. Okay, this is just a
We never
drawing.
said anything about line art.
Yeah,
we didn't say anything about a drawing. I mean, if they draw it, it's okay.
But the line art does give you, if it's an accurate, what they're shooting for, it does give you some details on the figure, some proportions. So at least you've got more to go by than just an inky Rorschach blob on the screen.
Don's right. There is more revealed in line art than through just like
yeah, we can at least see what they've got planned.
Yeah,
I've paid for 2 of these figures already, and haven't gotten one in hand. Because I normally order from Captured Prey, but his pre-orders you pay in advance. There's no way I'm ordering 3 figures right now, paid in full without having one of these in hand first. I'm actually probably going to order this guy from somewhere where I don't have to pay up front, just because I've already paid for 2 figures that I haven't got yet. And I don't know why they're dropping this pre-order so early. They say fourth quarter on this, but I can guarantee, and I will eat my hat.
Yeah, we're still seeing line art.
Something that there is no way we will see this figure in 2014. This will be 2015, probably March,
second
April,
quarter,
if not later. Yeah, I really have a problem with the pre-order coming out this early for this guy. There's just no need for it.
Well, now one thing Diecast is even though for us it's going to be almost June, they're looking at getting factory time near the holiday season when this thing goes into production. So they might have to have an idea of how many pre-orders there, or an idea of how much to make as part of their negotiations with whatever factory they're using to get the production run time.
But so Don, I have to disagree with you on this one, and I normally don't disagree with you because you're awesome and you really do know what you're talking about. But they have 2 other Dinobots before him that they're producing, so the production run is going to be right around the same as the other 2. They're already going to know their sales. They don't need. It would be like putting the 4th Dinobot out. Oh, how many are we going to sell of their Brachiosaurus or whatever he is? It's probably going to be right around the same as the other 3. So they know how many of these they're going to sell.
I mean, that's true. It could be. It just seems to me with them going into the holiday season, there's a lot more getting time on the line for production versus any other time of the year.
I just want to make a correction. In 1984, it would have been a Brontosaurus.
But that doesn't exist.
I know.
It doesn't matter.
But that's what we would have called it.
It exists in my heart and on my.
It's not 1984. It's an Apatosaurus.
I know.
This guy right here. This guy. Well, not this one. My other one met with a tragedy.
What's wrong with your Sludge?
No, this is not my original one. But Sludge was my very first Transformer. This one is a replacement due to some damage the other one had through the years. But this guy, he will always be a Brontosaurus. I don't care if it doesn't exist. I'm just using my imagination.
And it will always be wrong.
You'll always be wrong. So hey, if you like masterpiece scale Dinobots that are not official Gigapower HQ02 MP Grassor, not slag figure, we have more line art.
Oh, now that's the one that's supposed to be part of the really big, the even bigger figures.
Oh yeah,
Giga is going to be bigger.
Like Masterpiece Sideswipe comes up to his waist, I think.
I have a.
Oh,
we have a. It looks like we have a render. Ooh, is that a render? Or is that pre-production?
That's a pre-production.
So
Wow.
yeah, they are pretty big.
Yeah.
More stuff I don't need and will never buy.
Holy hell!
Yeah, he's a big.
How
boy.
much is that one going to cost?
Your soul.
They actually haven't even opened up a pre-order. Giga is going the other route. They're trying to get the figure very close to being ready to be produced and shipped out before they open up pre-orders on this. So they haven't even opened up the pre-order on their not Stegosaurus or Stegosaurus.
Well, has anyone bought anything from them before?
No, this is their first.
This is
I
their
don't think I've
first.
ever heard of them before this.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be honest. I mean, it looks really nice, but with Quake Wave having gotten so much good press as far as the overall quality, that's why I'm doing the Fans Toy version, just because of the Quake Wave positive results I heard. Nothing against these folks. It's just
there's a lot of give and take. There's a lot of it depends on what you as the collector like, because Giga is a bigger scale and seems to be a little bit closer to the toys, as in the legs are still on the outside of the robot, to where Fans Toys is a little bit smaller scale, but their toys seem to represent the cartoon a little bit better because the legs actually fold in and stuff like that.
And I really like that.
So last week, did we talk about the Maki Toys not Scorponok? I forgot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we mentioned it.
We were talking about Perfect Effects, not Scorponok, I believe.
Oh, geez, Louise.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. That's what, because this doesn't look the same. So Maki Toys, MBC-03 Pandia Citybot series, official product details on their ultimate not Scorponok figure. These look like chalk drawings,
but they're not. But they're not blobs. They're not worth it.
Actually, I think this is a line drawing here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is different than the one we had, and this is even less final looking. This just looks like a sketch. It's like, oh yeah, eventually I'd like to make this.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of those in my 4th grade notebook. I should start scanning those and posting those as news. But,
See, they were listening to you, Brian. You said you didn't want any more shadow images.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, well, we'll just draw something on paper. Is this better?
I mean, it's not like Maki Toys isn't going to produce this. It's just that it's a little early. It's almost like this got leaked.
Well, I'm
not saying it got leaked, but
well, I don't know about everybody. I was not on board for Utopia at all, and then I saw the catalog pictures that we talked about last week. Oh, that Metroplex is gorgeous.
It is, isn't it?
I think I prefer that to Generations Metroplex. I really do, just from an aesthetic standpoint. And if this Scorponok is along the same lines, ow.
I would rather have a Triptychon, which they're rumored to do as well in this Citybot series, because there's 4 that they're going to do.
And how many Citybots are there?
One we already know is Metroplex, and now they've talked about Triptychon.
I guess.
Scorponok.
I'm sorry, Scorponok.
I guess there's some Micromaster bases that you could call Citybots, but those aren't really bots.
Would you call him? You couldn't call him Mega Supreme. He's the defense base technically.
He's a base type.
He's
deal.
a rocket. Yeah.
He counts, actually. The add-on kit.
Of course
they
he
count
does.
That as one. So yeah, that's all 4. That's Triptychon, Scorponok.
Metro Titan makes 5.
Yeah,
that doesn't count.
So I think
yes,
I'm going to skip the story about the TFC Toys Star Dino team because I don't really care.
It's crap.
It's not crap. It's just it doesn't tickle my fancy. I'm going to jump to the Mega Steel MSO3 radio figures.
Another.
Figure.
Oh God. Another blaster?
Yeah,
This is new.
and it's die-cast.
What, silly? No, you're not going outside and chase the deer.
Yeah, so
Oh, great.
yeah, there it is.
Oh.
There you go. There's your
Okay.
blaster.
It's is it? I wonder what size it's gonna be.
It looks small from that image.
Yeah, it does. It looks small.
I'd say it's probably close to Masterpiece car size or smaller.
Oh, is this the one
Yeah,
that they
about-
were saying was actually remolded off of the Masterpiece Soundwave? I think this is the
Is it?
one. Yeah. So this is actually going to be the same size as Masterpiece Soundwave.
Well,
I don't think so.
that
No?
scale looks way off to be that tall. Then it just
Yeah, I think this is the one we've talked about before that is like a Voyager
It is.
size.
It is. It's the one
And
we
it
talked about before.
I think it comes with a ram horn, but it doesn't fit any other cassette ever made because they're too small.
yeah, just like the other one that came out a few weeks ago.
Unique Toys. I thought that was Unique Toys.
Maybe.
No, the first one, the first blaster was Unique Toys.
Right. That's the one that was small, that was Voyager size, that came
And-
with...
The cassette was the gun,
Yeah.
which I think is still awesome.
Now, I think this is the one that's based off the Masterpiece Soundwave.
Oh, that was Sound Mixer.
I don't know.
Was the other one? Yeah, never mind. God, these things are there's just too many damn third-party toys.
Yeah, first it was. Oh, speaking of Predaking, Brian, are we done with this? Do you think?
Sure.
Okay. Oh no, it's just Unique Toys at several stores. You can get a loose and complete Warlord, which is they were the first ones with Predaking coming out for $295. It's about $60 a figure, which is about 20 to 30 less, I think, than the regular price. So if you've been looking for a new Predaking, that sounds like a pretty good deal. I haven't actually checked out the, again, Predaking's not one of my must update figures, but seems like a pretty good deal if you're looking for a new Predaking.
Oh, the $300 Predaking?
Yeah, because that works out to be about $60 a piece, which is about 20 or so at least less than the boxed figures. What is it?
I really don't need more of these things. I got, the Predaking that matters.
Yeah. Which is still an awesome Predaking.
It's not bad. I mean, it's not the greatest thing ever, but... I guess with that, let's go ahead and take a break. We will jump to Q&A with Rob Springer. After that, we'll have comic reviews with XV and Rob. And we'll be back right after this.
You boys a bit bored? Snap into it! Snap into a Slim Jim!
Hey guys, it's Rob. And this week's question comes from Jimmy Schlitz. Rainbow Warrior, I think you got some competition in the screen name department. Jimmy Schlitz goes on to ask, hey Rob, how come in the new game, Rise of the Dark Spark, they're reusing Fall of Cybertron stuff and adding it in movie stuff? This seems odd and slightly lazy to me. Thanks. Well, see, there's one thing I'm going to address right quick. A lot of people like to say lazy. A lot. They're saying mold reuse is lazy. This is lazy. That is lazy. And I'm pretty sure in all this laziness, it's still taking up more work than you would imagine. That, and we need to be a little realistic here. These things are made purely for profit. So, reusing assets or whatever is a way of maximizing profits. It's not lazy per se. It's capitalism. But outside of my little nitpick there, this one actually makes a whole lot of sense to me, and I'll explain why to you. First off, movie games don't really sell past the movie's shelf time. While the movie's in theaters and on video, sure. But after it fades, you notice every movie game, Transformers, whatever the movie tie-in is, they drift off the discount pretty quick. I mean, you take a game series, it might take a good year to fall down to $20. Quicker if it doesn't sell well. But games that sell pretty well, they're right there. I was actually making a joke the other day when they announced the new Lego Batman game that, hey, I'm going to get that. But I'm not going to kid myself. I'm going to wait about 6 months and buy it when it's $20. Now here's the thing. Fall of Cybertron is still $40. Actually, at $30-$40. War for Cybertron is still $30-$40. The tie-in movies, they're about $20 after 6 months. So Activision, not being stupid, they're the first third-party software company as far as gaming consoles go. They split away from Atari back in the old days and started doing their own thing. They know what they're doing. And they were like, okay, these games sell well. These games sell well for a time. Let's see if we can lengthen the shelf date on this. And that's what they did. Not to mention, they disbanded High Moon after Deadpool didn't sell. That's it. It has nothing to do with how good the games were High Moon were making. They just stopped selling. They didn't sell that well and they had to disband the studio. Mind you, High Moon worked for Activision. All those assets and all that belonged to Activision. So they basically used those assets and honestly it looks like made some map packs and skin packs and made a new game. Literally, people are saying, these developers that made this game, we don't know what they've done. And it's like, you're right, you don't. Because it probably was just small little things like this, not like original games where they adjusted something to work. And, they, guys, we're looking at a mod and DLC basically here. We're looking at them taking the assets, the game engine, and before people start saying they don't want to play the same game engine, if you play a lot of first-person and third-person shooters, you've been playing the same game engine for how many years now? I mean, it's the Unreal Engine. You've been playing the same game practically, not taken away from it. But when War for Cybertron came out, a lot of us were just like, oh, okay, it's Gears of War Transformers Edition. Because, essentially, aside from a few control things or layouts, you're playing Shooty Man, So you're basically playing more of the same, which this is the fourth game to really use that engine, meaning War for Cybertron, the Xbox and PS versions of Dark of the Moon, and then Fall of Cybertron were all pretty similar games. Engine-wise, so it's kind of more the same there. And they're reusing those assets, and they basically made map packs. They basically made character maps and mods using assets to make, the newer characters, like the different movie designs and what have you. And, make up some new maps for the levels, make up some new stories, whatever. Slam, bam, you've got a game. And, really, it's a tie-in game, even though they're using a little trickery to make it hopefully sell longer in the long run, which may or may not work. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, do we spend all this time developing an adaptation, or do we give it a kind of use the budget to make a game that, what's the plot? Autobots are fighting Decepticons with Cybertron. Autobots are fighting Decepticons on Earth. So they give it enough of a plot to carry over, because that's what most games have, is enough of a plot to carry you one board from another. Sometimes it's better written than others. A lot of times it's better written than others, but this one, it's probably pretty low budget because it's a tie-in. And without the original developers there, and without wanting to really get up another team to do it, they just reuse the assets, which seems kind of poopy. And maybe it is. Maybe it is a little unethical, but we got to remember, this is business. And these guys are making a product. And, the same people I see complain about laziness are usually the same people I see buying multiple Seekers. And I'm not saying that to say, hey, you're being hypocrites or whatever, because you're not. It's just that's the way it rubs you. It's like, this is lazy. It's like, this is business. This is like when you go and you buy, like when Old Navy advertises these things are available in new colors. You know, these pants or these shirts are available in new colors. You don't even stop and think, hey, they're just reusing the same pattern. You know, it's just the same thing they've had in a different color. You know. Some people do. They go, it's the same thing in different colors. I mean, you guys remember Crocs when they went from being just in black to all sorts of colors? Or how about you guys that were guys around my age, maybe a little younger, maybe a little older, like when they introduced those new model colored Game Boys, where it's just a Game Boy available in different colors, like the plastic, not nothing else. It was a big deal. They advertised the crap out of that, and I'm sitting there holding my old regular one, going, same thing. You know, it's just business, and it's hard not to take these things personal when you're so passionate and you care so much about this property. But you got to stop and say, okay, this was a business decision. And, you know, these movies they're not made for us. I mean, they're made for us in a way, but they're made for the mainstream audience. They're made to basically just generate money. And, you know, the other day I bought a pack of Oreos with Optimus Prime on it. You think they were even worried about getting my dollar? Oh, this is tie-in money. People are buying Oreos already. Hey, this has got Optimus Prime on it. I will make sure I buy a pack this week. Cool. Or I just saw the movie. My kids, oh, Optimus. Like, yeah, okay, whatever. Just Oreos. You know, this is business being business. You know, try not to take it personal. And who knows, this game might be really good. You never know. I mean, it's the same game. It's the same engine. You know, how'd you know Fall of Cybertron was going to be good? Well, because War of Cybertron was going to be good. Was good. You know? Yeah, it's a game using the same engine that's really popular because the past generation, it looks like current generation's pretty much games using this basic model of play, you know? And, now, I never played the Dark of the Moon Xbox game. Or PlayStation game. I never played that. And a lot of people complained that it was really short and they felt gypped. So it might be kind of like that too, because let's face it, cash in. You know, it's a cash in game. It's made there just to generate some money. So them reusing assets, I wouldn't be too surprised if they reuse some of those Earth maps for the On Earth movie stuff. In fact, they probably did, and you might not. Some people might notice, and some people might not. I mean, they probably reuse those assets too. This looks like a big remix of game assets, and you know, some new animations, and you know, yeah, probably is. I mean, I remember in college, Castlevania 64 came out. And a year later, a prequel came out. And it was practically the same game with a different character and a different story. It was actually a little bit better of a game because of the way levels progressed. But I actually played it prior to playing Castlevania 64 because I really love Castlevania games. I was a little bit of a butthole about that one. I was like, I don't know. I was content with my Symphony of the Night. So I rented that prequel. Hey, I really like this. And I did like it. So I went and bought this Castlevania 64, which was on discount for being an older game. And guess what? Like, almost all those levels, just kind of in a different order. But I don't think this will be to that degree. I think they're really just using the assets, and they made some new levels using the assets, making what new assets they had to, like Drift, you know, and some of the new movie character designs. I mean, we all watched that dramatic trailer where Bruticus come together and say, wow, I saw that in 2012. Because you did. But you know what? It's still cool. And you know what? Like I just talked about Castlevania games. Those 2D ones throughout the Game Boy Advance and DS lifetime reused a lot of assets. So it's nothing new. Just In fact, if you want to see it as lazy, go ahead. Because even if that's my little nitpick, once again, just because I'm so entwined in the business aspect of it, is why I guess it nitpicks to me like that. You know, go ahead, because maybe it is a fair way to say, hey, this is lazy. Maybe it is fair to call it lazy. But to me, it's just business being business. You know, they're you ever see a new pack of like once again Oreos? There it is with the girlfriend getting some stuff at the store. And, you know, they got that little, well, I don't even want to say store, Walmart. It's where the world has to shop at now. Whatever, it's cheaper. You know those big bins they have full of the little cups of cookies that you put in your cup holder while you're driving, and they always have that big bin. It's like $1, and people are like, oh, and they grab one or two because it's an impulse buy. They had a little cage right above it, a little cage type box holding Oreos and those cookies in like just like a tube packaging. And people were going by going, oh, this is new, and they're grabbing it, and I'm like, it's just the cookies in a smaller package. And at that moment, I was Jimmy Schlitz going, it's just the same thing. I mean, that's just business being business. We're using what they got to make a new product. So, hopefully it'll be good. Let's be positive here. There's too much negativity in this fan base. And not negativity saying you're not allowed to feel one way or another. Just, if it's not good, let's try not to focus on it and worry about what we like. Me, I'm kind of looking forward to it, to be honest with you. I'm kind of looking forward to it. I'd like to play this. Maybe they got me with the idea of mixing. I like interdimensional stuff. I like the crossing over. I like crossovers. So maybe that's how they suckered me in with their cheap business ploy. So let's be positive here and hope for the best. Okay? And if it's not, you can say, Rob, damn it, you're an idiot. Shut up. And I'll say, you asked me my opinion. I didn't say I was always right. So, thanks for your question, Jimmy Schlitz, and I love your screen name. And if that's really your name, I love your name. So, hey guys, keep sending your questions, rob@tfradio.net. Or if you check out tfradio.net, you'll find links to all our social media. And there's millions of ways to contact us, through Facebook, through Twitter, through this or that. Send the site a direct email, that'll work. You can go to my blog, roborobspringer.tumblr.net, just to see what I'm posting today, or this week, whenever I post. And there's a way to ask me a question there. So, please keep sending our way. And I was going to say something, but I completely like lost my trail of thought. So, boy, I wish they'd make a Creo Transformers game. I really like Lego video games. And if they made a really good Creo one, I'd probably be pretty happy. And maybe not wait for it to go $20. In fact, that actually should be the movie game for me, and I'd be completely happy. I'd be really happy. And if you guys want an original game, go check out the 3DS version. Way Forward's making it, and they make really good games. So that one's probably going to be the winner in this round. And now I'm going to stop talking and eat me something. Thanks for your questions, guys, and keep sending them in. Bye.
Radio Free Cybertron will return after these messages.
Captain Power has come to TV, and you can be part of it. What are you doing? Aim the PowerJet XT7, fire invisible beams at the television targets, and score. Or be hit.
The TV show fires back.
No kidding. Captain Power versus Lord Dread.
I don't believe it.
Believe it, short human. The power of the future is in your hands. Believe it.
Captain Power jet and figure sold separately. Batteries not included.
The GoBot Puzzler Set. 6 renegade GoBots that go together like a giant puzzle.
Zigzag and Rube and Pudding.
Each is a mighty robot.
I'm Jigsaw, one bad bud.
A mighty vehicle.
Pocket and Crossroad go arm in arm.
And together,
Tic-Tac heads for the top.
a renegade GoBot giant. the GoBot Puzzler set. Each GoBot puzzler also sold separately. New from Tonka.
Radio Free Cybertron has teamed up with Kokomo Toys and Collectibles in Kokomo, Indiana. If you're in the Kokomo area, visit our store for a huge selection of new and classic toys. Visit online at www.kokomotoys.com for our address and store hours. While you're there, check out our listing of pre-order items, as well as visit our eBay store. Visit us at www.kokomotoys.com. That's KOKOMOTOYS.com. We're also on Facebook.
Pinned down one time too many by Astrotrain and Blitzwing, the Autobots build their own triple changers.
Autobot triple changers battling the triple changers of the Decepticons.
Triple changer Sandstorm transforms from dune buggy to copter to robot, and Broadside transforms from carrier to jet to robot. To fight Decepticon triple changer Octave, who transforms from tanker to jumbo jet to robot.
Transformers.
The Transformers from Hasbro.
We now return to Radio Free Cybertron.
Warning. The following segment may contain spoilers for the most recent Transformers comic books. So, you know what's really good?
Would that be Windblade?
It would.
Mm-hmm.
So we got 2 comics to cover this week. We're going to start with Windblade, because Windblade is excellent.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about reviewing stuff is it doesn't take very long to talk about good things.
Yeah.
Basically, like, I think the thing we rave on most with this is the art.
Oh yeah, the art's wonderful.
The art is wonderful. Like, the initial scene going into Blur's bar.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the lighting effect to make it look like a bar, look like, you know, smoky inside and dark, and it's done so beautifully.
Yeah.
I mean, Sarah Stone's art is really just fantastic. From, reading her occasional tweets, it sounds like she's really hard-pressed to actually keep up with doing a monthly book, which hopefully she can, like, get into the pace of that and do more monthly stuff later on. But, I mean, even the way she got, like, expressions out of Waspinator,
mm-hmm.
that's fairly impressive, I think.
Yeah, that's not a face that I ever thought of as that expressive.
No, you really wouldn't. That's kind of the thing.
Yeah.
Story-wise, I'm just as happy with that. The book's kind of shifting into, self-narrated mystery thing, which is a really good way to explore a character from the inside, having them basically explain the story as it's going on.
Yeah, I'm kind of waiting for there to be some kind of twist, though, in terms of the mystery, because at the moment it looks like it's not much of a mystery, because the first impression of everyone was Starscream did it, and it sure looks like Starscream did it.
Yeah, I think it's probably more a matter of why Starscream's doing it.
Yeah.
That's probably what's going to actually be the hook here.
Probably so.
Because unless there is some really surprising twist, which I wouldn't rule out entirely,
mm-hmm.
It does look like Starscream's actually behind it.
Yeah. Question will be whether or not they can actually prove it, but,
Probably not.
Yeah.
Because if they can prove it, how would he stay in charge?
Yeah.
It's probably just going to be like an uneasy secret piece.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of seems like the direction it's going, but I don't mind so much being able to predict the story cues like that, just because it's being done so well.
Yeah.
In a way, it shows Margaret Scott's background in writing for TV.
Mm-hmm.
Because in a lot of TV shows, the plot will be similar to things you've seen before. You'll be able to tell where it's going, but it's still really good because of how you're getting there.
Yes.
And, Margaret Scott's one of my favorite writers that's worked on Transformers in, most any medium.
Yeah.
She did write the best episodes of Transformers Prime.
Mm-hmm. And I have to admit, I do love the little title banner on the character page for Waspinator. Life's favorite chew toy.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't have a slide prepared for that, but yeah.
Oh, well.
Now, Robots in Disguise is a little bit of a different thing this month.
Yeah, it is.
Well, it's not really so different from last month, but it's different from Windblade.
Yeah. It is definitely different from Windblade. once you get past the first, like, few pages, once you get past the part that Guido does, which Guido does very well, because he's Guido.
Yes.
You know, the book picks up, and as basically a character-studied Prowl, the book works very well.
And we had this really one great panel of Prowl in the flashback scene.
Yes.
I love that image of Prowl. I want that without the speech bubbles on it because I want that for an avatar.
Maybe we can convince Brendan Cahill to post that somewhere.
Is he on Twitter?
I don't know.
We'll have to look into that later and bug him for clean art. Yes. But we really shouldn't skip over the Galvatron part at the beginning.
No, we really shouldn't, because
I've prepared a complex slide for that, and I'm sure as hell not letting that go to waste.
Well, good. Okay, let's go into how this works. Soundwave and Galvatron meet with Marissa Fairborn and Daniel Witwicky of the Earth Defense Command. They basically take turns threatening each other, which, you know, Decepticons trashed the planet before the last time they were here, so that's understandable. But, okay, Galvatron has just gotten through threatening to murder everyone for the second time. When Soundwave says, we were betrayed by Megatron, who has now sided with the Autobots, and this man leads us to peace.
I really like the dialogue here. Galvatron, who is not part of the Earth invasion, leads us. His arrival has altered forever the Decepticons, seeding and fermenting our journey toward universal harmony.
Yeah. Lots of fermenting, because you would have to be drunk to believe that. And Fairborn and Witwicky go, okay. I mean, not on panel. Maybe there's more to this. I'm hoping there's more to this, because this is kind of really... This is not kind of... This is really contrived, that they would want to side with the army that blew up Earth, because the guy in charge of the army is now with the people who saved Earth from the army.
The thing I'm seeing with this is later on, Marissa is basically talking directly to Soundwave as, you know, the controller of the Decepticons, rather than going through Galvatron, who is, you know, supposedly their leader, but...
Yeah.
You know, that's probably part of the stuff we're not seeing, where it's, you know, worked out specifically between the two of them.
It's entirely possible. It would make more sense.
I mean, I think that's how it's supposed to be coming across. It may not be being, like, expressed very well on the actual pages.
Yeah.
And maybe that will be clearer later, but... Yeah, for right now, it's just making everybody look stupid. And again, we'll go to the dialogue of the actual comic book for the summary of the whole idea here, which is Marissa facepalming, how did this seem like a good idea? When everything predictably has gone terribly wrong.
And Thundercracker is saying, or is about to say, I told you so.
Yeah, I like Thundercracker.
I do too.
I was really glad when we got the preview for 28 and we saw Thundercracker being kind of prominent. Since he kind of disappeared after All Hail Megatron.
Yeah.
Or at least part of the Costa run. You know, I was hoping Spotlight Thundercracker was going to be more present-day Thundercracker because they were taking him in an interesting direction, but at least he's back now and hopefully can actually do more than just lament the loss of his house.
Yeah. I imagine if we're going to spend any serious time on Earth, he'd almost have to, because somebody is going to want his advice on what's actually going on here. And hopefully it's the Autobots, but I don't know.
So we found out, probably unsurprisingly, that Prowl's team that Optimus didn't want to take to Earth was the Constructicons.
I wonder why he didn't want to take them to Earth.
I'm not sure, but Prowl doesn't really seem to care too much that he didn't want to take them to Earth.
No.
Because there they are, and, you know, piling on and punching things. Which might be fun next issue, or might not. I'm sort of starting to lean towards not.
I'm thinking it actually... I'm thinking I get what Prowl's plan is, and I kind of like it, which is that we made it a point to see Devastator in New York at the beginning of this issue, in the flashback to All Hail Megatron. And now, while the Decepticons are the ones who are trying to hide, here comes Devastator, not hiding. So I'm pretty sure he's going to drop down and try and pin this on the Decepticons.
It's certainly possible. It's not like the Earth Defense Command would have any context for Devastator not being a Decepticon.
Mm-hmm. And it's not like any context they've been given has helped them any so far, so...
Mm-mm. Admittedly, that context comes from Soundwave and Galvatron, who are not the most reliable of sources.
No, but...
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not super thrilled with the Robots in Disguise going so far.
I really want to see this pick up because I really did enjoy Robots in Disguise back when it was on Cybertron, and I think it can pick up. But there is too much setup at the moment, and at least as it has been presented to us so far, it is not set up that is functioning very well.
The other thing too is just like the pacing of it.
Yeah.
You know, I hate to say it, but I'm getting flashes of Regeneration 1. It's like this whole opening story arc was plotted out as one thing and then chopped down to be individual issues.
That's entirely possible. I'm kind of wondering if maybe... Because if you notice, the alternate covers to Robots in Disguise and Windblade and a couple other books for this month and I believe next all seem to kind of rotate around Megatron's trial. And I'm kind of wondering if we're waiting for that to be fully revealed in probably the next issue of More Than Meets the Eye before everybody gets down to business.
Maybe.
Because, I mean, the outcome of the trial is pretty obvious thanks to More Than Meets the Eye.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, clearly Megatron is not going to be put to death. They don't mention the specific outcome in this issue, but it's pretty obvious Megatron is not going to be put to death because otherwise we wouldn't have that great prowl panel.
Yeah.
But I kind of wonder if there are things that John Barber wants to say that he feels like he can't say until James Roberts has gotten caught up to where he is now. Again, this time skip was not a great idea.
Not exactly the way they did it anyway. I mean, what you were saying before, you know, having something just focusing on Megatron's trial and getting it out of the way before resuming the actual stories.
Yeah, like I said, like a Death of Megatron one-shot. Kind of like Death of Optimus Prime kicked off More Than Meets the Eye and Robots in Disguise. That would have worked.
Mm-hmm. It would have, and it would have solved some of the problem we're having.
Mm-hmm.
You know, More Than Meets the Eye's return was weakened by all the flashback elements. If they would have taken the trial stuff out of that, they could have kept the other flashbacks, and it would have made more sense.
Mm-hmm.
I think Robots in Disguise would have got off to a faster start, too, if your other idea here is right. The only thing that hasn't really suffered for this is Windblade because it's almost a completely disconnected story.
Yeah, nobody else is really on Cybertron and worrying about it in the present right now, so a nice big clear playground.
Maybe that's why Windblade's the one we're enjoying the most out of all three, even though More Than Meets the Eye is still really good.
That's entirely possible.
Of course, it could just be the wonderful art and writing from some writer we really enjoy.
Yeah, that's also true.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it'll get better next month.
I hope so.
I hope so, too.
You can hear our show on Stitcher Smart Radio. Stitcher allows you to listen to your favorite shows directly from your iPhone, Android phone, BlackBerry, or Palm phones. On demand and on the go. Don't have Stitcher? Download it for free today at Stitcher.com or in the app stores. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
So we are back. We're streaming the show live right now. We mentioned that. We love doing the show live. It's you can find it at tfradio.net/live or at tformers.com. And of course, we always post it to our Facebook page at facebook.com/tfradio, and we also try to post it pretty much wherever we are at. But we've been having some issues with Ustream. I've always liked Ustream. Okay, so I tolerate Ustream. So I'm definitely going to try to do more work to get to focus more on our YouTube stream. because YouTube has yet to ever go down for us. And it doesn't throw, like, Spanish dishwashing detergent ads over the live stream.
Three in a row.
So hopefully soon, we'll be able to do that. But always check out our YouTube page. We do stream the show there. That's at youtube.com/TF Radio Network. Guys, anything else going on? Anything of import we need to talk about? I guess
we covered a lot of stuff. I think we're pretty much good.
We covered a lot of stuff this week. So let's go ahead and I think that will do it. So for the guys, I'm your host, Brian Kilby. We will be back next week. Have a good one.
See you later.
Thank you, everybody.
See you guys.
This has been Radio Free Cybertron. Visit us at tfradio.net for show notes and to subscribe to the podcast. Follow us on Twitter at tfradio for news and updates. Watch our live stream at tfradio.net/live. Join our Facebook fan page at facebook.com/tfradio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, TF Radio Network. Have a question or comment? Leave it on our Facebook fan page or mail it to contact@tfradio.net. This podcast is released under a Creative Commons license. Any part of this podcast can and should be redistributed, but please, proper attribution is required if you know what's good for you. Radio Free Cybertron, the original Transformers internet radio show since 1999. 100% girlfriend free since 1999.